Hey everybody, my name is Sharon Burris-Brown, and I am a stress and mindfulness coach at Peace and Ease Coaching. Today I'm going to be talking about my Brussels sprout challenge. So yesterday I learned a lot about Brussels sprouts, and you may be wondering why I'm talking about Brussels sprouts, but here it goes. I gave myself the challenge of focusing solely on prepping Brussels sprouts for dinner. The feel, the smell, images, and movements of my meal prep, and the full reality of Brussels sprouts. I planned a roasted Brussels sprout dish as a side for dinner, and I had to cut off the ends and then slice them in half. And afterwards, I placed them in a bowl and poured olive oil and balsamic vinegar on them. And then I tossed them in the dressing and poured them on a baking sheet and roasted them at 400. And I will post the recipe actually for you. It's very yummy. So, what did I learn? I learned that Brussels sprouts look like mini artichokes with layers of leaves that kind of peel off, and when they get cooked on a high temperature, they taste like chips, like Brussels sprout chips, mini ones. And I also learned that at least these Brussels sprouts that I was cooking yesterday didn't have much of a scent. And they have variations of greens and whites throughout each vegetable. And I learned that if I gave myself time to just focus on the task at hand, slicing them and pouring the olive oil and vinegar on them, it it became relaxing, if not enjoyable. And the repetitiveness of slicing each Brussels sprout in half no longer bothered me. It really felt meditative and nourishing. So, how does this relate to business? The urge to multitask is really unbelievably powerful, and many companies require that employees do multitask. I worked in companies that, as a health coach, I had to listen really intently and coach people often on very sensitive and intense stuff while at the same time typing and completing all my documentation. And so the time constraints in figuring out models that are money makers often have companies require employees to do two or three tasks at the same time. And so we really get to focus on the integrity of the one most important task at hand, or even get a chance to figure out which task is the most important. So it's no wonder why people have such a difficult time slowing down to determine what's most important for them in the long and short haul. And there's no room to listen to one's own body or intuition for information about what that next step is when you can't focus on your present experience. It's kind of ironic that unless you fully experience your life in the present, your emotions, your thoughts, your body sensations, the experiences you're going through, it'll be a lot harder to determine a future path for yourself. So I see that as a coach every day, actually, because when I listen with my whole being, I really intuitively know which paths I should head down with my client because I'm listening to them with all of me in the moment. And I'm both aware of what they are and are not saying, what emotions they may be suppressing, and what may be underneath their words. And I am aware of what's going I am aware of what's going on in myself at the same time in response. So, in order to be able to use all your experiences as information to light the way forward for yourself, you really have to slow down and focus on where you are now with a non judging heart. So, just to give you a tip, focusing on one's present experience is a discipline. And at first, it's best practiced when you're not under stress. So you don't have to meditate for 20 minutes or a half an hour. You can simply start out by taking a task that you usually do, a simple task like eating or folding laundry, or something like preparing roasted Brussels sprouts. To focus on that task at hand and only on that task. And then the result of that, the more you practice this, the more you'll be able to go to that observer part of you during stressful times. And the more you'll be able to focus on challenging emotions that may come up without getting overtaken by them. And you'll be able to act at that time during these stressful times with integrity and intention, not out of reaction from fear and anger. So thank you for listening to me. I will post, if you would like to talk to me offline, I'll post my scheduling link. You can just grab a spot on my schedule. I'm offering free initial strategy calls, and it'll take you, once you schedule a time, it'll take you to an application page where you'll just answer a few questions, and I just do that so that I can get a better sense of your needs. I really thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.